Welcome back to the Pirate Experience. In this video, we're going to show you how to create an event in your page on the site so that people can find it and attend. Visit the Pirate Experience and navigate to your organization's page. You can do this by finding it on the bottom of the page or by searching in the box at the top. Once you're in your group's page, you'll see all the options as usual. You'll want to navigate to the Events tab. You can find this either in the middle of the screen or in the navigation menu on the left. Click on Events. You'll see any events that your organization currently has scheduled. To add a new event, click on the green Create Event button at the top right of the screen. This will walk you through several steps, and as a reminder, all of the options are clearly labeled to what they mean. Event name. Put in the name that you'll want to call this event. This should be something that is easily identifiable. In this case, we're going to create an event for the Student Activities and Organizations Fall Kickoff for Student Organization Leaders. So we're going to call it Student Organization Kickoff. If you've had a name before, you're recreating an event that you've done previously, you'll see that the drop-down menu will come up with previously used options. You'll see the red asterisks beside options that are required, and they're not there for things that you don't have to put in. So you'll put a title and a description. You want the description to be something that is easy for attendees to read and understand the purpose of the event and who it's for. You'll select an event type. And then you can select as many event tags as you would like. In the organizing team, you can select from members of your organization's officer group, and you can also add additional team members so that several of you, or as many as needed, are part of the event. When attendees or potential attendees have questions, they can either contact you through a group chat within the Pirate Experience or through an email. Choose which option works best for you. In section 2 of the Create Event page, you'll have your date and time. It will bring up a drop-down calendar menu, and you'll pick a start and end time for your event. If this event will happen more than once, you can click Recurring Event Settings and select all the dates for the event. In this case, we're just going to have a one-time event. If this event is on campus, you would select the on campus option in section 3. If it's off campus, you will select that and put the address. Or if it's online, you can select that as well. In all these cases, you can also choose who can see the location. If you want anyone to be able to see the location, you would select that, or you can select logged on users, which means they have to have an ECU username and password and be able to log into the system, or they have to register for the event first. In this case, we want everyone to see this event, so we're going to choose that. If you have an on-campus location, remember that the system has a map of campus, and so for location name, this is going to be held in the ballrooms of the main campus student center. So for location name, we're going to put ballrooms, and for the address, we're going to put main campus student center. If you were doing this event in a classroom building, you would put the room number and location name, and then in the address, the building name. There is an app for the Pirate Experience, and if students are traveling through campus and use the app-based Pirate Experience, they would be able to see that map on their phone. If this is an online event, you can put in a link and choose which app it is hosted on. It's good practice to put an event photo in there. The event photo is just a header photo that will show up on that home screen for people looking for events. This is something that is 380 pixels high by 760 pixels wide. It's a rectangle. You can create that or have that created for you. You'll choose the photo. Make sure that everything looks good within the sizing. Click Save. Remember that any pictures you put in, you'll need to provide alt text descriptions for. So in this case, for students or users who may have visual impairments that use a web reader, we want to provide any information that is in the picture You can also upload a flyer if you have a more detailed flyer that will go there as well. In the header photo, you really just need the information about the title as a way to grab attention. If there are other file attachments, you can add them in section 5. You can also select whether or not food is provided and give information about that. In section 6, you can choose who is allowed to register. Earlier, we selected who could see the location in section 3. Now we want to decide who can actually register to come to this event and who can see the event. These are all different privacy settings that you have control over. In this case, I want to allow anyone to register because we have some advisors for student organizations that are coming from outside the university. I want them to be able to come if they want to, so I'm going to choose everyone. You can also choose that they have to be an ECU Canvas Groups user, which means they have an ECU username and login password, or you can choose some users only. You can choose group members only, so if this is an event just for members of your organization, you would choose that. You can also choose to limit that to some group members or tagged members. So you can select if you've got a certain type, you want just students to come that are from your group, or let's say you've got subcommittees or departmental committees, you can tag the users of your organization and then you select which tagged members that you would like. You can do the same thing with subgroups. So subgroups could be the place that you use committees. For tagged members, you could have maybe a competition group and you tag your members as part of that competition, or people who have paid their dues, and you would select them there. You can do officers only or any of the features you see. In addition to that registration option, you can choose who can see the event. Maybe you want it to only be for group members. Not only do you want people from the outside not being able to register, you may not want them to see it at all. If it's just for your members, you can choose that. I want to encourage people in this case to become active in student organizations, so I'm going to choose everyone. Sometimes just because an event is visible to everyone doesn't mean you want it to show up on that home page slider. So in this case, you can choose whether or not to show on the home page. Again, do you want people to register for this event or not, or do you just want it listed up there? If you have an external registration site, let's say you have something going on that people need to buy tickets for through ECU's central ticket office, you can choose no, I don't want to let people register, but put in a website for tickets or an external registration. There are lots of options here. Most situations won't require you to use them, but you can go through those and see if they're ones you want. If you need to have a number of people that are registered by a certain date, you can choose a registration closing date. You can set a limit of the number of people that can come. You can allow people to tell you if they're not attending. You can choose to send reminders to guests. In this case, we're holding this event, and I want to remind people because it is right before school starts. I want to send them the reminder a couple of days, but you can choose when to do that and what that message looks like. You can personalize what happens when people register, so it will send them a personalized confirmation You can edit. You can decide who do I want to see the list of attendees and whether or not they can post comments on the event page. We don't use tickets within the system, but it will send them that confirmation, so you can make a ticket cover photo. You can also use the Pirate Experience to send a feedback request. So if you have a survey for your event and you want people that attended to receive that survey, the system can use this automatically to do that. You would simply create a survey within your forms section. And then once you've created that, you would select it here. You just decide when do you want it to send this out. And who should it go to? People who register for the event, which means people who told you ahead of time they were coming, or people who actually checked in at the event. There will be another video to show you check-in options. Section 8 has advanced options for your event, many of which you may or may not use, but they are available. You can read through those. You can add additional questions to registration. In our case, we have people coming that are part of student organizations. So I want to know, what organization do you represent? And when they register, it'll ask that question as well. If you have guest speakers, you can add their information. Same thing with sponsors. Parent event allows you to have one event series and then multiple options of events that go as part of that series. If you have offices that you're co-hosting with, you can select them as well, as long as they have a page on the Pirate Experience. And then once you have all of that created, you click the Create Event button at the bottom. If you start the event, but you're not quite ready to publish it yet, you can save it as a draft and then come back to it later by visiting your Events tab and the Drafts section. We're going to click Create Event. If there's anything that's missing, it's going to tell you that. But if not, it'll give you this screen, tell you your event was saved successfully, and you will see it in your list of events. Here we have it, Student Organization Kickoff. If you need to make changes, you can edit that event and it will take you to the same screen we were just on. You can manage parts of that event by clicking that gear symbol and going to the Manage page. And here it will show you anybody who has checked in or who has registered to attend. If you want to check in attendees, you can click that check-in button. Again, there will be another video that shows you how that works coming. To invite people to that event, click the three dots to the side. You'll see several options. You can preview what the event looks like to users. If you want to invite people directly, you can choose the invite option. You can make changes. If you want to do the same event again using the same settings, you can duplicate the event, check in attendees. We're going to copy the link. That's not only going to give you a URL that takes users directly to that events page, but also a QR code that the system generates that you can copy and paste into your social media graphics, your invitations, your website, or by email.